Hello and welcome to the ASDRP Researcher Interview Series. Today I am joined with Aarna Sahu. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, anytime.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, so I'm excited for this.
Awesome. I'm excited too. All right. Well, to kick it off, I would love to hear about how you found ASDRP and your journey to get here so far.
Okay, so I'm a rising freshman, and I have a lot of other friends that actually did ASDRP, and they actually recommended me this. So over the summer, I just hung out with a bunch of friends, and since they were in the computer science group, something that I'm interested in, they told me how much ASDRP is so nice and fulfilling, and so I decided to enroll, and during the summer application, and that's how I kind of landed into ASDRP itself.
That's awesome. Yeah, good story. And since you're a rising freshman, hopefully you'll enjoy it and continue on for several years to come.
Yeah, of course.
What high school do you go to? Or are you going to be going to?
I'm going to be going to Prospect High School in San Jose, California, and yeah, as a freshman.
Nice. Very cool. Um, so this summer, who is your research advisor?
My research advisor is Mr. Lorenzo, and I'm part of the SOM group.
What does SOM stand for?
It's the self-organizing map. So basically, we're learning about what these are, and a really simple way to talk about it is that it takes really high dimensional data and kind of breaks it down into 2D data. So it still keeps the topological structure, but it's more easy to read and more easy to really understand.
Okay, so you're distilling like 3D maps or like figures down
Yeah,
into. Okay, nice.
kind of like an
Um,
algorithm.
sorry.
It's kind of like an algorithm, so it's really, really cool.
Okay, great. What has been your specific role with your group?
As I'm a member, so I'm still trying to learn Python because I had old experience with it, but I'm also trying to look at the math behind a self-organizing map. It's really, really it's kind of advanced for me, but I think that I could really understand what it is. But I'm learning some Python, as I said before, a and just what a self-organizing map is and how it's useful to the real world.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, would you mind telling me a little bit more about how it's useful to the world and what exactly a self-organizing map is?
Yeah, of course. So in the real world, current today, um self-organizing maps are they're useful because, as I said before, they take really high data and move it into 2D data. So for example, if you were taking a survey about the world, like say for example you had France, China, USA, India, all of these different countries, and you were thinking about so many different factors of say um like their total population index, something really, really big, then since there's so many factors for each country, a self-organizing map can move it down to be so much more readable so people can actually see where they stand and how much each country needs.
Okay, cool. It's a great example. Um, and so as you've done your work, what have been some of the challenges that you've encountered in your research?
As I said before, some of the math is pretty challenging because they're a bunch of different symbols that I kind of don't know. But I've just been looking at different papers that are more easier down for me, and they kind of make sense. But also another challenge was just understanding what self-organizing maps were, because all of these people make papers really intimidating to read. So my group, I'm so thankful for my group. We kind of break it down for each other. So we're a whole team, but we're just so close together that we just help each other out.
That's awesome. I've loved getting to hear about everybody's team. It sounds like that it's a really great environment working with your peers.
Yeah,
Do you feel like you guys learn a lot from each other?
I think we do because we all have a different background of our skill sets. So if like for example, one person really knows how to use C++, another person knows how to use Python. So if I ever encounter like a bug or something weird, then I could just ask them and then I could learn from them. So it's really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. And as you've been working, what is something that excites you the most about working more on this project?
Something that excites me the most is finding my interest and really honing down on it. So as I was already interested in computer science, learning about what an algorithm is and what SOM maps are really, really interesting to me and fulfilling, because as a younger person, a lot of people think that I can't do something, I can't learn things, but having that education and not in a traditional educational system is so helpful to me. And also something that really excites me is just making new friends, because my team is already so amazing. So yeah.
That's great. I'm glad you and your team are working so well together. That's so wonderful to hear. And ASDRP is really a place where it seems like people and students come into their own and they have a chance to develop independence, especially in this researching area. So that's super awesome. I'm glad that you've been experiencing that. Um, so I know that it's early in the research process, but so far, do you feel like your research has changed anything about the way that you view the world?
It definitely changes how I view the technological world. I just thought that, you code a little Python script, upload it to the internet, and boom, it's like really great. But actually like learning about the math and like everything behind it makes me understand how much work people put into like fields. And so it kind of like it's really impressive to see how many people have like actually done it, and I aspire to be one of them.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of moving pieces, especially with a map. It's not just one easy equation. Where would you like to take your research next? Are there any particular projects, like even thinking bigger than ASDRP? What are you interested in?
Um, I'm interested in the cloud. So, like the cloud with like big data and everything. So that's why I like SOM so much. But I think that over like later on after ASDRP, with the skills that I really learn, I could like produce some of my own projects, like, you know, doing other, being able to manipulate data even more. So more people who don't even know technology can really see it and make it more readable. So that's what I hope to do, like projects like those.
That's awesome. Well, we'll stay tuned, and I hope you are able to develop everything you need to launch yourself into an awesome research career.
Thank
Um,
you.
all right. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share today? Any stories or fun experiences or things you'd like to add?
Some fun experiences I've had with ASDRP is obviously joining the meetings. Um, Everything that goes down in the meetings is like super, it's like super nice to talk to people, because like I feel really comfortable asking like questions. And my team, as I said before, they're like so sweet. So those are like the best experiences I have.
That's great. How many times a week do you guys meet?
With my own team, I meet, I think, once or twice a week, but then with our research advisor, we meet once a week, and then a whole like complete like team meeting, we meet once or twice a week. Depends on when you're available.
Okay, great. And do you feel like those meetings help streamline the process and do you feel more supported with them?
Yeah, because I have the help of like the advisor himself, so it's really, really nice.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, and my last question for you tonight is what advice would you give a future researcher who's interested in joining ASDRP?
As I said before, I'm pretty young, so regardless of what age you are, don't be intimidated by the people who say that, oh, you can't do research, you can't, hone in on your like interests. You should just join like the traditional educational system. Things like that that really bring people down. Try not listening to them and really just like focus on yourself instead of those around you.
Great. That's awesome advice. I love that. That's great.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much for talking with me tonight. It's been awesome to get to know a little more about you and your research. I'm excited for the opportunity ASDRP is going to give you. It sounds like you're so ready to tackle all of these mapping problems, and I'm excited to see your research in the future.
Thank you.
I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Bye.